When I understand, I stand under. When I stand under, I support. When I support, I lift up. When I lift up, I raise. And when I raise, I praise. And when I praise, I encourage. When I encourage, I strengthen. When I strengthen, I empower. When I empower, I release. When I release, I let go. When I let go, I let God. When I let God, I understand. I understand. I understand. When I understand, I stand under. When I stand under, I support. When I support, I lift up. When I lift up, I raise. And when I raise, I praise. And when I praise, I encourage. When I encourage, I strengthen. And when I strengthen, I empower. When I empower, I release. When I release, I let go. When I let go, I let God. When I let God, I understand. I understand. I understand. I understand. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Unity of Palm Harbor, those who are present with us and those who are over the airwaves. We are so grateful that you're here today. And we've kind of slipped away from maybe some traditions that we do in Unity as newcomers come into our sanctuary, because a lot of us have been at home. So I do want to welcome any newcomers today. And if you don't mind, will you just maybe raise your hand so we can recognize you and say thank you for coming and being here. As you leave our sanctuary after service, on the right-hand side, you'll see a half-circle moon table, and we invite you to fill out the paperwork and take with you a little blue packet. And there's some information in there that tells you a little bit about Unity and why we find this such a special, special home. And we welcome you to come back and join us anytime, and any questions, I'll be outside the door, and I know we've got a number of board members here today, and everybody would happily answer your questions. So I do want to take a moment, especially for anybody who is new to Unity, to share with you why Unity may be a little different from the religion that you grew up with. And our co-founders, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore, they wanted a teaching. They didn't even want a religion, but they wanted a teaching of practical Christianity. And that means what you learn is something that you can apply to your everyday life. So we don't actually teach things like heaven and hell, or a devil that's going to punish you when you do something wrong. Instead, we focus on how to create our lives by our thoughts and our intention. And so you will find maybe, if you're not used to this teaching, that it's a little different. And at the same time, we hope that it is very opening for you, that you can step into that magnificent child of God that you already are. We don't teach original sin. We do know that people sometimes miss the mark. And with doing this, we have our fellow our men and women who are in the congregation with us to help us remember our path. So you are very welcome to be here. Ask any questions. And hold on, I'm going to do one more thing before we get ready for our music. Some of you may have watched in the past week how Texas was slammed with the ice storms. And I reached out to several ministries over the airwaves, and I want to share with you what some of the ministers are saying is happening in their church homes. One of them is Unity of Arlington campus, and Reverend Ann Tabor says, I wasn't able to go to our campus in person because of the ice. We had active water leaks and damage in 2 buildings, and it took several hours for our heroes, but the firemen came and shut off the water. For Unity of Dallas, thanks for asking. Unity of Dallas has a pretty good amount of damage. 4 classrooms, a hallway for the offices, the reception, and the children's church. All have at least a 1/4 inch of water standing. Lots of sheetrock damage. But we are blessed we caught it when we did. A number of congregants have been without power, heat, and broken pipes. And when I reached out to Reverend James Buchanan and I said, how can we support you? He followed up with, we are first contributing to a family fund to help our congregants in biggest need. The snow will melt, but there will be high expenses toward repair and extra large utility bills. And Unity of Wimberley says, we're fairly okay. The pipes from the well burst, so there's no water. The business manager and her son live in the attached apartment, and they've been without water and gas the entire time. Reverend Jill Carey. So what do we do as a family? As a family, we reach out to help each other. So I'm going to invite Reverend Marilyn to bring out that famous orange bucket of generosity and love, and to invite you as you look inside your heart and say, you know, I have the capacity. I have the capacity to expand beyond all borders. And we ask from Unity of Palm Harbor that first you apply that oxygen mask here, your first tithe, and then look a little deeper. And for those of you who are called to do so, the orange bucket will be out in the foyer, and drop a gift in there. And we're going to send it to these 3 churches. And as we expand in our consciousness and understand what's going on with our fellow churches in Texas, we will give again and again, because you cannot outgive God. So with that, I want to say thank you for all the blessings. And when you feel called to do so, join us by dropping in a donation, a tithe in the orange bucket for our family and friends.
Already got money.
In Texas, and we've already started with money. So I want to say thank you for your attention. Welcome to Unity of Palm Harbor. And with that, Joy, thank you.
I am opening up to sweet surrender, to the luminous light of the one. I am opening up to sweet surrender, to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. Please join me. I am opening up to the sweet surrender of the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening, we are opening, we are opening, we are opening. We are rising up like a phoenix from fire to come together, spread our wings, fly higher. We're opening up like a phoenix from fire to come together, our wings on fire. We are rising, we are rising, we are rising, we are rising. We are opening up like a lotus flower for our light to shine through the darkest hour. We're opening up like a lotus flower, our light to shine as we come to power. Opening, 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 opening. We are rising up like the spirit of drum. Beat by beat, we beat as one. Opening up like the spirit of drum. Beat by beat, we beat as one. Rising, 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 rising. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. We are opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the one. The luminous love light of the one. The luminous love light of the one.
Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet song, melody pure and true. This is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing. No, no. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. You know it will. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Three little birds pitched by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you.
Thank you for joining us. And Terrell has one more song to do that he wrote called Happy as the Morning Sun.
I'm happy as a morning sun, clear as the early dew, grooving on this feeling that's moving through me, looking for a way I can share it with you. Inspired by this day, I will find a way to let out what I feel within, knowing that showing it makes it more real, sharing this love that I feel. I'm happy as the morning sun, clear as the early dew, grooving on this feeling that's moving through me, looking for a way I can share it with you. This wonder I'm under that comes over me, this blessing expressing itself. How can I relate this love I vibrate? I cannot keep it to myself. I'm happy as a morning sun, clear as the early dew, grooving on this feeling that's moving through me, looking for a way I can share it with you. Now I can see how good it can be. I'm feeling the urge to share. Now I'm aware it was always there. Oh, what a beautiful thing. I hope it goes viral, this uprising spiral, sharing at its best. By being open-hearted is how we get started, evolving into this world love fest. I'm happy as the morning sun, clear as the early dew, grooving on this feeling that's moving through me, looking for a way I can share it with you. Yes, I'm happy as the morning sun, and clear as the early dew, grooving on this feeling that's moving through me, looking for a way I can share it with you. I'm happy as a morning sun.
Thank you, Terrell, for sharing your happiness and your bright, sunshiny face. Well, our announcements this morning, we have a beautiful flower arrangement done by Judith Overcash, and we are going to send that to John Bierman. He is the new Unity Minister at the Dunedin Unity of Dunedin. I think it's Unity of Community, something like that, yes. And it's from all of us, so if you don't know John, I believe he's from Ohio, and he is their new minister that they've called. About 20 minutes after service this morning, the prayer chaplains will be meeting here in the sanctuary for their monthly meeting. Now on March 17th, it's coming up, St. Patty's Day picnic will be held here on the grounds, and you do not have to be Irish to participate, but after you do, you will be Irish. So bring your own picnic, and we'll enjoy time together, and it'll be from 4 to 6, and that's on a Wednesday. And Judith Overcash will be facilitating her 3-in-1 Art Day on Saturday, March 20th, and she will be in the foyer with a sign-up sheet so that we can get some art going here. And I've tried to take her class for a couple of years and have missed it. I'm the first on the list this year, so. All right. And now for our daily word reading, Robin Lavich.
Good morning. Good morning. Our daily for today, it's always perfect when I read it, is let go and let God. I do what is mine to do and release the rest. Over the years, I've accepted more and more responsibility as I've grown in maturity and experience. I've also grown in wisdom as I'm able to discern what is mine to do. I have learned what to take on and what to leave for others. I have also learned not to exhaust myself by taking on too many commitments. Perhaps most important, I know when to use my will and determination to make things happen and when to let go. I recall times in my life when I have felt frustrated that events didn't unfold the way I'd expected. I can now see how they unfolded perfectly, often in ways better than I could have imagined. I now let go easily, trusting in that perfection. In Him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your own poets have said, for we too are His offspring. Thank you.
I let go. I let go my burdens. God will take them all from me. I now release them so God can take them. I let go my burdens. God will take them all from me. I now release them so God can take them and bring me joy and bring me hope and grant me peace. I let go my burdens, God will take them all from me. I now release them so God can take them. I let go my burdens, God will take them all from me. I now release them so God can take them and bring me joy and give me hope and grant me peace.
Thank you, Joy, for bringing us into this beautiful space, preparing for meditation. And thank you, Robin, she's one of our new board members, for sharing the daily word. I've asked Terrell to join me and to hear his pan drum. Is that the right word? Hand pan. So let's just take this space. And if it's comfortable for you, close those outer eyes. Know that you are fully supported right where you are. Feel free to leave anything unlike love outside these doors. And let's take a little journey this morning. I met a new friend in Clearwater. And we're going to go journey to see this new friend. So in your mind's imagination, you are standing before a huge tank. It's a clear water tank. It's a little murky. But in that murkiness, you see bubbles. And the bubbles are drifting to the surface. And behind those bubbles, you see a shape. And that shape is playing in the water. And you're watching it. And you're curious. And the water moves and the bubbles move. And the shape comes towards you and it's friendly. It's playful. It's flirtatious. And your eyes meet the beautiful eyes of this marine animal who's looking at you. Curious, playful, trusting. And in this space, you connect beyond the human element. And you see the wisdom of the ages. You see so much depth of where this beautiful creature came from. And you sense a hardship. A place of maybe I'm going to be here and maybe not. And it talks to your soul. And you look inside those trusting eyes, and you feel in your own depths the connection of authenticity. And your heart swells up. And this marine animal comes closer and dives beside you, playfully, curiously. And he has a message for you. And as we enter the silence, we hear what is ours to hear in this beautiful connection of God's creature. From those inner depths. Now. As your consciousness begins to come back into the room, say goodbye for now to this beautiful marine animal who waves the flipper, those gentle eyes watching you go, but knowing you are now forever connected. No separation, part of the all. And joy fills your heart. A simple pleasure, simple happiness at such a depth that we know we are truly connected as one in all of God's earth, in all the heavens, in all the seas. And we say thank you for this message. This message meant just for each one of us, relayed through the eyes of God swimming in a tank. And so it is. And so we let it be. Amen.
When I smile, that's the joy overflowing from you. When I smile, that's the joy overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing now. When I cry, that's the love overflowing from you. When I cry, that's the love overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing down. No words, oh, no words, oh, you already know the secrets of my soul, 'cause I'm a part of you. No words, oh, no words, oh, you're the sacred truth in everything I see and everything I ever do. When I sing, that's the love overflowing from you. When I sing, it's the song overflowing from you. What can I say? How can I thank you for the day? Oh God, my blessings are overflowing. My blessings are overflowing. My blessings are overflowing now. No words, oh, no words, oh, no words, oh, no words, oh.
Overflowing. Our blessings are overflowing, and sometimes it takes no words whatsoever. And over the last few weeks, we've been looking at our aspects of happiness and what creates that in our life, what sustains that in our life, what makes that true for us in our life. And if you remember, Robin joined me on the stage, and we talked about where happiness comes from and how it creates a chemical reaction in our mind when we allow the good thoughts to come through that shift our stinking thinking. Then, if you remember, we had Gloria on the stage, and Gloria helped us look at the 5 thieves of happiness. And specifically, the one that called to me the most was the comparison one. Thou shalt not covet from thy neighbor anything. And what is that really about? Probably not taking their house or their horse. But what it really is about is not comparing you to someone else, because you are individual. You came in this life to be that beautiful individual expression of God, and to try and be like somebody else, you're not only stealing from them, you're doing a disservice to yourself. So we're going to let those 5 thieves of happiness go outside there. And then I thought, and I think I shared a story about 3 of my gal pals, that when we get together, we always have a happy. And a happy can be anything that we're sharing joyously to let my friends know that I'm thinking about them even when we're not together. And it's usually something really silly, but it just does that little extra oomph when we all get together. It's fun, it's playful. And then, as does occur with every little jaunt I go in around here in the area, Friday night, my daughter and a special friend here in the congregation, we went to be artists. And we went to the Clearwater Aquarium, and we were up on the 3rd floor, maybe it was the 4th floor, and they had this big room. Originally, we thought it would be outside, right by the dolphins, having this wonderful experience. But Friday night was a little cold, so we had this big room for us set up, safely spaced distances and wearing our masks. And then there's wonderful portrait of 2 dolphins over the horizon as the sun is going down. And I looked at that painting and went, honey, that ain't gonna happen. I can't paint a dolphin to save my life. And I'm really not great at all this other stuff. Now, what you need to know, my daughter is a very good artist. And this other person who went with us is a very good artist. So they already have in mind, in their mind's imagination, in their confidence, their ability to create magnificently, regardless of the picture that our facilitator had. Now, we had our little palette of colors. We had our little water. She named our paintbrushes. So that was fun. That was creative. And she shows us how to paint. And I go up there and I stroke that brush across the canvas. And I'm like, this is fun because I'm out of my head. And I'm doing this and that and this and that. And my daughter goes, you're playing by the rules, Mom. You're playing by the rules. You're just using one color. Get exciting, get adventuresome, put some other color. Now look at her. We got Picasso and Van Gogh going on. Me, I'm like, all you ever needed to know you learned in kindergarten. Slop, slop, slop. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I thought, so what is kind of this life of happiness all about? It's the simple joys. And I am by far any kind of an artist, and anybody following me on Facebook, mine looked like a rendition of the cousin of the Minions. Mine didn't resemble anything like what that woman put up there for us to do. But I had a blast. And my daughter had a blast. And our friend had a blast. And I thought, wow, this creative spirit that is inside each one of us shows up when we allow it to come through. And that's the same thing about the spirit of happiness. It's always out there. It's for us to recognize if it is our natural state of being, when we feel out of whack and we don't feel happy, when something else is coming through for us, sometimes we just have to tap back into that source, we'll call it our God source, and say, what is really true for me? The same energy that is created in the universe that we can use. You can be happy or you can be sad. It's a shift. It's your control. You get to decide how you show up every day. And we do have real things that happen. Sometimes they take our breath away. Sometimes a tragedy befalls us. Sometimes something real, like what's going on in Texas. Thank you, God, it is now fine. Thank you, God, the trucks coming from all over this country that are bringing them food. Thank you for everybody here who's reaching out to your family there. Thank you here for reaching past any form of limitation to say, I can give a little bit more. I can give a little bit more just to help you folks. I've reached out to Unity Village for the same thing. What are we doing as a collective movement for the greater good of those of ours who need a little more help? Don't we do that for our families? And I think about that as unity anyways. The new minister we just mentioned at the Unity Community Church, he's just part of our extended family. When you travel, when you visit other cities, do you ever stop at another Unity church? Yes. Yes, and it's fun. If you've been to one Unity church, you've been to one Unity church. We're all a little different, but we're all expressions of the divine. And we tap into the same source all the time when we choose to focus our energy in that light. And that's what we encourage you to do. That is our invitation to stretch beyond normal boundaries. Mom, pick up another color. You don't have to slop the same paint in the same direction. So it's like, okay, what does that look like? Now I will still share, hers still looked like a masterpiece, and mine still looked like kindergarten. But boy, did I have fun that day. No naps for me. We were playing. It's good stuff. So when we're thinking about how do we get into our space, our space that creates joy and light and laughter. For some people, it is music. Doesn't music lift your soul? Doesn't music invite you to be more than what you ever were before, just in a place that you can move or not move? But your mind's imagination becomes alive, dancing in the notes. When we did our meditation, I introduced you to Nicholas. Nicholas is a 16-year-old dolphin that now lives in the Clearwater Aquarium. And Nicholas came into life and it was difficult. He was about 6 months old when he was with his mother and beached. And when he did that, they were exposed to the elements, and a third of his body was sunburned. She was so burned that she didn't make it. So the aquarium took in Nicholas and said, we can raise him. But he didn't know what his mother would have been in the world to teach him, so now he has a permanent residence in the aquarium. And what I didn't know is this aquarium is one for rescue, rehabilitation, and release free. But if he cannot be free, they will take care of him. And there's so many metaphors to our life. How many of us have walked into a Unity church, maybe our very first time, and we were looking for something? We were looking for something because something in our world wasn't working quite right. And it might be that you'd had a question and it was faith related. Or it could be, honestly, like me, with 2 small children and a marriage that wasn't working. And I needed answers. I needed someone to believe in me until I could believe in myself. And what I heard in the days and the time when I first came, you are a perfect child of God. That's what we teach here. That there's nothing you have to fix. You already are a perfect child of the divine God. And what do we call God? Spirit, love, substance, compassion. All of this already exists inside of you. And when you forget, we turn to our neighbors. We come to classes. We listen to the minister. We listen to the music because it brings us right back to center. And we claim that as good. We claim that as good. I want to share Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity. There's a book written by Neil Vall, and he wrote like 3 books. Can y'all see this like my Bible? Look at this. This is my Bible. This is what it says. I love Myrtle, Mother Myrtle. So for those who don't know, the foundation of Unity is prayer and healing. And Myrtle had heard all of her life that she wasn't going to make it very long because her body had dis-ease. And then she heard a teacher say, you are the divine blueprint of God. Therefore, you cannot inherit dis-ease. And she talked to her little cells, and she told them they were perfect. And within 2 years, that dis-ease disappeared. And this is how Unity formed. So I want to share with you something that Myrtle says. She's talking about the power of the mind. The effort to reach God, to identify with the Christ mind, Myrtle asserted, began in the minds and hearts of men and women themselves. We talk about a God within. We don't talk about a God up there that if you're good, he rewards you. He rewards you. We don't talk about a God out there that if you're bad, he punishes you. We talk about a God within. The power is within. The kingdom is within. And Myrtle says, central to Myrtle's teachings was the idea that the human mind possessed great power. The mind is powerful, she observed, and the body, its functions respond readily and fully to the bidding of the mind. So one of our principles says that in which you believe is where the power is going to go to, and you're going to focus on it, and whatever that is for you, you're going to get more of. So I'm going to share just another little true story without mentioning names because permission wasn't given yet. But I had this idea that we needed to do something even with our stage. And maybe I said something to 1 or 2 or 3 people. And the next thing I know, well, I'm sitting here at this florist shop, Tracey, let's do this. I'm like, yes, I love people that move and groove. They don't sit around and talk about it all day. They're like, yes, the power of the mind, the thought, the idea is there. And they say, let's take action. Now, not only that, we met this fantastic little man who's selling his shop. So we went back again. And he likes us. He likes us. And when he gets ready to close down in 2 more weeks, we may be covered with flowers up here. Who knows what's going to happen? But I love when the person came to me and said, see how beautiful our gardens are? Let's bring some of that inside. And I was thinking, okay, the big pots out there, and we'll bring some of those inside, and they're lizards and they're bugs, and we're going to wash them, and we got to do this. And it was like, no, you're making life hard. You're making life hard. Let's see how else we can do this, that we don't have to worry if it's sunshine or rain. And you have this beautiful foray of greenery. We're bringing earth inside. Keep watching. We're going to bring fire inside. We're going to bring water inside. Our creative minds are just having a grand time, because what you think of, what you want to create, you draw more attention to you. And I will share with you, after last Sunday, I was picking up some barbells through Marketplace. Y'all ever play on Facebook and do that? And my daughter just wanted some light weights. So I called this lady who was doing a set of weights for like $10. She's right down the street. And when I showed up, we're talking about the weights, and she's getting ready to move. That's why she's selling them. And I said, we're looking for, she mentioned that she and her husband were part of Cirque du Soleil for 10 years. Now, how did we get on this conversation? I have no idea. Thoughts in mind produce after their kind. What am I thinking? I'm actually thinking we want a little help with our camera group. We want a little help with our audio and our visual. And I'm talking to a woman who's been Cirque du Soleil for 10 years. I said, so, how's life? She said, no, none of us are working. I went, oh, what do you do for Cirque du Soleil? Now, one was music, and she was a director, but she said, I have friends, and they don't have a job, and I bet they could help you. Now, I haven't had the call yet, but this is how it starts. You have an idea in your mind, a seed is planted. You're talking to people that you don't even know, and all of a sudden, we have greenery. All of a sudden, we have people who show up and say, I want to do this with you. I want to help you. I want to grow with you. I want to create with you. And that's what we're going to do in this next year. And we're going to expand further and further in consciousness. So Myrtle's teachings say the mind is powerful, and the body and its functions respond readily and fully to the bidding of the mind. All action takes place first in the realm of mind. In Unity, we say we create twice. First in mind, and then in manifestation. But it starts here first, the divine mind, the God substance, and we get that spark. And now we're turned on. And we're like, okay, is this mine to do? Is this mine to do? How do I take this forward? And then you talk to your friend, they went, ooh, I want to do that too. And then another friend goes, oh, I know exactly where you can get that. And we open our mind, our consciousness, our very soul, because we want to be a part of something greater than ourselves. And we tap into that. We tap into that. That sphere of happiness is always available. We decide where we want to put our focus. Do you want to be a creative engine? Do you want to be a mystic? Do you want to be a truth student? What do you claim as yours? And as you speak those words are filled with power. You will attract the right and perfect people right into your arena. Because those who do not vibrate with you will go to the side. There's nothing wrong with that. They'll find what feeds them. But you're on fire and you're ready. You've been called. We've all been called at this particular time, even through a pandemic, to show up greater than we've ever been before. Greater than we've ever been before. So Myrtle says, our affairs are just an extension of our consciousness. As a man or woman thinketh in his, her heart, so it is in the mind, body, and spirit. What you think is your reality. It's your perception. It's your creation. It's what you are going for next. And if you're the person who feels good about holding sacred space, like our prayer chaplains do, we pray back here before we start every service, and we pray at the foundation of those people who are asking us to support them. So everybody has a gift. Everybody has a talent. You don't have to be on the front lines. You might be quietly behind the scenes, holding that sacred space, knowing the right and perfect outcome for someone who just received a cancer diagnosis. And how can that person live in that natural state of happiness? How do they feel that that is their birthright? Because you sit beside them in prayer, holding that sacred space, and they know they're going to be okay. Even if the physical realm changes form, they're going to be okay. And you're right there beside them. That's what family does. That's what we do as a unity community. This is how we're going to spread. And we're going to do it joyously, with great enthusiasm, sacredly, intentionally, to build this into a place that those who choose to come physically in here feel really safe. And for those who join us online, they're like, yes, I want some of that. I'll have what they're having. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. All man's experiences in the outer world have their origin in thinking, so that his outer world corresponds with his consciousness. Now, if you have that kind of power, that you can create that outer world to be anything you want, what are you thinking? Pay attention. Pay attention to the words that you use. The people around you hear them. And if you think people aren't watching you, they are. And they're watching how you live your life. They're listening to the words that you use. And it's interesting, especially for new people to the Unity movement, they may ask questions, and then they may start using the same words. And they start taking chances. They color with more than one paintbrush because they watched you do it. They watched you have success, or that you felt good about it, or you were willing to take that chance. And if you're willing to take that chance, now maybe they're willing to take that chance. Just holding that light a little higher. Holding that light a little higher, saying, if I do it, you can do it. If I do it, you can do it. And feeling into that substance that says, we are fully supported all the time. Not some of the time. We're fully supported all the time. See, you're awake. I knew you were. I'm up here roasting, but I figured y'all are awake. Here we go. Yeah. So that excitement, that drive, that enthusiasm, that love for something bigger, you have such a depth, such a width, such a possibility of expansion that there's no reason for us to play small. Dream big. Make them some crazy dreams. Let's get outrageous. Let's see how big we can go. And then invite others to come play with us. And sometimes, like I said, it's just a daily event that you showed up for somebody having no idea that their doctor just called them. And they're not ready to share it yet. But you just invited them to coffee, or you brought their newspaper to their door. Or you said, you know what? We're open. Come see us. Come walk our gardens. Many people feel healing walking our gardens. And if you need a project, I can help you with that. So I invite you to look down inside and say, what is mine to do? And what is mine to do with great joy, with happiness, with elation, so that we're not in this small place going, you know, the world really sucks right now. I'm tired of all this division. I don't like that I have to wear a mask. I don't like that I can't have lunch with my friends. That's the negative stinking thinking. So let's look at the side that's positive, the side that's open, the side that you can expand in and say, wow, we're being really safe, but we get to gather. We're going to do something crazy and do St. Patty's Day out in the garden. Bring your lawn chairs. Let's do this. And in this place of joy, in this spirit of let's expand in our consciousness, that invites our ideas to become bigger than they've ever been before. And for those people who are really fine holding that sacred space, we need that too. Everybody has a gift. Everybody has a gift. And when you're ready to share the joy, can I hear an amen? Amen. Amen. And so it is. And so we let it be. Thank you.
Barb, I understand that you have something to tell us this morning, so would you come up and talk to us for a moment?
Good morning. I'm Barb Kishra, and I've been with Unity for, I guess, 30-some years. I was talking to Reverend Tracey, and I was telling her how much I enjoyed her prosperity class. It was kind of a little shot in the arm, a reminder. Although, about 30 years ago, we had a class called the 4 T's. And with the 4 T's, you learn to tithe. And I know that's kind of that word, the T word. And that's how I felt about it. I gave what I thought I should to the church. Some weeks it'd be more than others, but then I had a problem. But when you made this class, for 6 weeks you promised to tithe. Take a look at what your income was, and you promised to tithe. And I started, and I had a roommate with me at the time, and we kind of moaned and groaned, I'm going to do a check. No more throwing $20 in the offertory. I'm going to make this commitment. And I did. And things started to happen. I can't explain it. I can only tell you, tithing works. All of a sudden, I didn't have to budget. I just had enough. Enough money was coming in, maybe a raise, difference in my investments, and a whole different attitude of prosperity. Prosperity was blessing me with friends. I was a travel agent. I was offered wonderful trips. I found, as I said, many new friends, and of course, our church. But I can only tell you it works. I highly recommend the book, Edwin Gaines' book, that's in our bookstore. She talks about it the first time that she wrote that first check of tithing, that she wasn't happy either. But I can only tell you it works. And I highly recommend that book. I have one home. If anybody wants to borrow it, I will be glad to lend it to you. But do think about tithing. I just know when you give, it just comes back. You don't give to get back, but when you give, it comes back. So that's something Reverend Tracey asked me if I would share my thoughts with you, and so I have. God bless. You're welcome.
Thank you, Barb. Yes, it does work. And this morning, I would like to have you say with me the unity blessing that we have always done. And listen to the words as you speak them. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And just remember, we cannot outgive God.
Here's a fun little song. You can sing along if you know the lyrics, or clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here so you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space, with the air like I don't care. And baby, by the way, because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. Here come bad news, talking this and that.
Yeah.
Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back.
Yeah.
I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Well, if it's to you, don't waste your time. Because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Happy.
Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Yeah.
Happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do.
Happy.
Bring me down, can't nothing.
Happy.
Bring me down, your love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing.
Happy.
Bring me down, because I'm happy, 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 happy. Yeah, I'm happy, 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 happy. Whoa, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you, yeah. Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do. One more time we're gonna say, bring me down, can't nothing.
Happy.
Bring me down, my love is too high. Bring me down, can't nothing.
Happy.
Bring me down, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Yeah, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth.
Happy.
Clap along if you know what happiness is to you.
Happy.
Clap along if you feel like that's what you wanna do.
So the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever our God is, all is well. Great job,
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Have a blessed day.